Welcome to you, my virtual audience. We're in the program Experience Living Purposefully into Your Very Own Story. And we're in series 1 of it, which is experiences 1 to 10, and each one of these experiences is about some different aspect of awareness. And the particular aspect for experience 3 is inner change. We have done tingles and clangs, those little attract our inner attention, and we've done selves, and today it's about inner change. So let us begin. Sit comfortably on your chair. Perhaps close your eyes. And as you remember a good experience, become aware of how your body sensing systems are reacting. Now remember a painful experience and become aware of how differently your body sensing systems are reacting. Take note of each uncomfortable sensing in your body, then bring it to comfort. Soak in the total sense of comfort. Also, take note of any feeling reaction at this time. When the time is right for you, bring your awareness back to room level energy. And again, I invite you to take one more moment to ask yourself, how was that for me? And receive any word, phrase, sense, or image that presents itself. You might be making notes of this if you want. And again, my note, to do the exercise that we've just finished, we've been in touch with, engaged with our observer self. So, intrinsic to inner change are 3 inner energies: preference, desire, and choice. There are spontaneously arising unconscious, semi-conscious, and near-conscious aspects of preference and desire. And for choice, there is the power within us to engage the information provided by preference and desire as we make our daily choices. So, today I'm going to depth the story that you've already heard about being stressed, and I'm doing that depthing from a desire stance. So in the story, I had the tingle inside me that arose when I heard obsessive compulsive and don't be stressed. Now they caught my inner attention at that time because they were so far off my conscious self-image. And they were so far off that it seemed funny to me, and I related it to others as a joke. In that same story, there was a clang that arose from within me: you can't afford to be stressed. So what happened there was that retelling the story brought depth beyond my knowing until after the story continued itself. And in this phrase, you can't afford to be stressed, that arose, I was in shock. And I stayed with that shock. And then that highlighted the truth, that really I was afraid that if I showed stress, my desire for study would be strongly opposed. So, in reality, without my knowing it, I was repressing my stress to serve my desire. And in the story, my true self nurtured me by pointing my awareness to a more realistic and grounded desire to care for myself, by inviting me to make a private self-choice for a more sensible balance between living, work and study. So I'm inviting you to spend a little time now allowing your observer self to name some aspects of your preferences, desires, choices or selves around one of your tingles or clangs where you made a private self-choice. And I'm suggesting that when you've done this, that you speak what you have named to yourself, to me, your virtual presenter, or to others in your group, and or write them. I've named the next strategy that I'm doing story mapping, and it's about the other story you've been hearing, stories about days I don't go out. And this mapping is from a preference stance. So my preference was my not going out day is precious. And the tingle was, oh no. So I was conscious. I had to make the decision to allow the consciousness to happen, but I was aware of physical tightening of muscles and an energy downturn. I physically felt that. Then I made the choice and I appointed this slot. My public self-choice, then, was against my private self-choice, and against my preference, and against my negative sensory reactions. And so the outcome of that was, I enjoyed my not going out day even more after the appointment was moved. And again, there was conscious awareness here, but I had to leave the space to be aware of it. I had a sense of warmth and great light, and I also had a sense of deep joy. So now here are some facts. For choices that are best for our public or private self, sometimes naming the different levels of desire helps us to live in tune with our true self-sensings and revelations, as happened in the story about stress. And this is an important point. Me in my skin makes the choice. For example, in both of those stories, about stress and about days I don't go out. And this is another really important factor. Preferences and desires have a more than element beyond your conscious knowing. And that was illustrated in both the stories about stress and days I don't go out. So let's stay for a little while about the desires under preferences. Desires are more expansive than preference, and they're not necessarily clear immediately. So, a few facts about desires. We all have more surface and deeper desires, and we may be unaware of our deeper desires. And as our different levels of desires reveal themselves, we may find that one set is in conflict with another as we make our choices. And we'll have to sort that conflict out in making our choice. So I invite you to spend a little time allowing your observer self to name some aspects of your preferences, desires, choices or selves around one of your tingles or clangs where you made a public self-choice. And I do encourage you to speak what you have named to yourself, to me, your virtual presenter, or to others in your group, and perhaps write what emerges. In summary, there is interaction between preferences and desires as we make choices in responding to unexpected situations that trigger inner sensory and feeling reactions. And the second thing, the triggering is not of our conscious choosing and so has a more than element. Again, we have a strategy that might increase your capacity for being aware, more aware of your desires. Each evening or sometime during the day, spend some time, 7 to 10 minutes, asking yourself, where were my desires in today? Perhaps keep repeating the question, jotting down the answers without change as they arise. And kind of, if you've got your eyes half closed and you're kind of in almost daydream stage, it's amazing what will be revealed as you write down, keep repeating the question. And after you've got to 7 or 8, you're probably getting to a deeper level. The next morning, for 1 to 2 minutes, soak in the deepest desire that surfaced and or the desire that has most energy for you. And so a little time for you again now. How has Experience 3 expanded your awareness of preference and desire underpinning your choices? So, experience 3 has taken note of more than aspects of experience in the triggers for physical and feeling reactions associated with our preferences and desires. And in the poster here, called Unexpected by Seeger Coda, what arrives in the hand, we don't know. Notice the cover over the face, and notice the hand. Becoming aware of the inner experiences, the inner desires, the inner selves, the inner invitations behind the unexpected arrivals from either outside or inside. So, if you would like to expand and enrich your inner awareness even more, I encourage you to experience experiences 4 to 10. And I do thank you for answering that inner invitation of yours to work through experience 3.